Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more WNBA news. And of course, Asia Wilson just announced that she will be returning to Aces, and this will be her ninth season. And this is huge news for just the longevity and for the growth, I believe, of the WNBA. Because if you've paid any attention to the WNBA, you see players leave all the time. Just yesterday, Angel Reese announced that whether they traded Angel Reese from the Chicago Sky all the way to the Atlanta Dream. Now that was a team move, but a lot of players, when they get into free agency, they go to different places. They're all over the place, and the WNBA has probably the most interesting free agency next to the NFL because there's so many missing pieces, and the stars of these teams are just leaving like they were just pieces at like they were bench players or something. So they're all over the place, especially with the new money that's in the league now, and players like Caitlin Clark are going from 80,000 to $500,000 now. Asia Wilson will be eligible for the Supermax, which is 1.4 million per year, which is she'll be the first player to get a million a year. The previous max used to be 250,000. So congratulations to the league for moving forward on that, but there's still a long way to go. I think they'll get there within the next 5 to 10 years. But I think this is huge news for the Aces and probably bad news for the rest of the league because they will have to deal with Asia Wilson probably for the foreseeable future, which I project probably the next 5 or 6 years. And if they keep the pieces around her, like the Chelsea Gray and the other players like that around her, it's going to be problems for the league because they won't be able to stop them. They're coming off their WNBA championship, well deserved. Asia has three of those, and she has four MVPs while she's been on the Aces her whole career. So this ninth season will be special. She'll have a new chip on her shoulder. Her boyfriend, Bam Adebayo, just scored 83 points. So I think she has a new motivation. She's very competitive in that way. And one of the biggest things also is I think she has the potential to be the GOAT of the WNBA. Right now, there's not a certified GOAT in the WNBA like there is in the NBA because most people say either Jordan, LeBron, or Kobe. In the WNBA, so many different ways you can go with that. Could you go with a Diana Taurasi because of her longevity and her stats and accolades, or Maya Moore, or could you go to like a Cheryl Swoops or a Cynthia Cooper, or there's so many different ways you can go in the WNBA because it's only been around for about 30 years. So there are a lot of different ways that you can go with that. So I think Asia with a couple of more, maybe one or two more MVPs and maybe two more rings, championship rings, you can arguably say she's the best ever without a doubt because of what she's did her whole career with one team. She has a Tim Duncan like story as far as her career goes. She's a power forward, but she easily could be a center. So it has that ambiguity and position that she plays. She's been with one team her whole career, did it all with a system of different systems of players. So she has that argument to be the greatest ever. And if she gets another ring, that'll be her fourth. It should be an elite company with players like Sue Bird and Maya Moore. So her getting another ring would just be another icing on the cake. But with her impact, I think that's another reason why she has the potential to be the GOAT as well. Because when you think about her having a shoe deal, which, Caitlin Clark had one, but she had one now, but the impact of her shoe deal with Nike and apparel that she has, the impact that she have on the youth, especially on the youth, the women that's coming up behind her, she sets a whole new precedent for that. Other, celebrities or other basketball players in the WNBA didn't have that opportunity to do what she has because of the platforms that she has. So her impact, was kind of diluted by Caitlin Clark because she had the shoe and they didn't give her a shoe until Caitlin got one, which I think was total baloney. But Asia's been the best player in the league for a while. Even when Caitlin Clark came in, it was like, well, Caitlin brought more eyes to the league. Well, Asia pretty much helped build the league because of what she was doing and her stability and what she had. Now her game is not as pretty as Caitlin's, but she gets the job done. She won in college. She's won in the pros. Kaylin hasn't done either of those. Not to make this about Kaylin, but Asia doesn't get enough light for what she does because of what Caitlin Clark did in those couple of years. But, she has a Mamba like mentality. You can see the way she gathers the troops together, the way she holds people accountable on her team. She's basically a coach on her team, even though they have an elite coach at the helm. But she's what every teammate wants. She's a leader that every coach needs, and she pretty much a coach on the floor for what she can do in the game. So when you look for Aja Wilson, it's not just about what she can put on a stat sheet. It's about the intangibles, her leadership, her will to win. She doesn't give up. She always plays hard. Even when they lose big games, she's looking to the next game to recover. She's not letting her guard down. She's always looking to get the next basket and make her team win because she's a great passer as well. So she just doesn't score and rebound. She passes as well and she defends at a very high level. So Asia's one of those players that coaches tell you to model your game after because you're always going to be competitive and you're always going to have a competitive spirit and you're always going to have that fervor to win. And you're not going to be like players today that get paid a bunch of money and just rest on their laurels. She doesn't do that. So she's pretty much the consummate professional when it comes to basketball. And I think she is a huge inspiration for the youth coming up behind her. So her staying with the Aces and showing her loyalty, she could have went anywhere and got the same money, but her staying with the team of the Aces just shows that she's comfortable in her own skin and she's not looking for outside, gratification from anybody or anything like that. She's looking to do well for her organization and her team, and she's loyal in a league that doesn't necessarily always have loyalty. So tell me your thoughts about Asia Wilson staying with the Aces. Until next time, I'll see you next time.